Is the USMCA likely to pass through the Mexican Senate without any substantial changes?
Yeah, I think it will. It's likely that it will pass even as early as tomorrow. It's already been approved by the respective committees in the Senate. And in the case of Mexico, it doesn't go to the lower house. So if it does get ratified tomorrow, that's it for Mexico's part in ensuring that the USMCA has cleared all the hurdles.
How, if at all, did the president's threat of putting tariffs on Mexican exports into the U.S. To lever Mexico's cooperation on immigration, how did that change the calculus about the USMCA in Mexico, if at all?
I don't think it changed the decision by the Mexican government to ensure ratification of the USMCA. Remember one thing here, Tyler, that Mexico has been behaving like the adult in the relationship, despite Trump's ultimatums. Mexico understands how important it is to get this revamped USMCA across the finish line, the impact it will have for the future competitiveness of North America, and how Mexico can, in the United States, compete with the likes of China. What did create some turbulence, though, was that if those tariffs had been imposed, those punitive tariffs on Mexico, it would have been a violation of the U.S.'s commitments under the WTO, under the prevailing NAFTA, and it would have been very hard with those tariffs slapped on to make the case politically in Mexico that the Mexican Senate needed to proceed despite the U.S. Congress not having yet scheduled the ratification process on Capitol Hill.
Mr. Ambassador, would it be a violation if there were, punitive tariffs placed on Mexico? Would it be a violation of USMCA if that went into effect? And I ask you this because many people, it would be. Okay. All right. So punitive tariffs would be off the table once USMCA is passed.
Well, they're off the table legally.
Legally.
As we've seen, the president is prone to doing what he thinks needs to be done to move his agenda forward. But in terms of what's stipulated both under NAFTA, under USMCA once it gets ratified, and under WTO obligations, these would be a violation of those regs.
You made the point, though, that it would have been in violation of the prevailing NAFTA. And so yep. I guess I'm asking you, does this trade agreement, does USMCA provide any sort of certainty in terms of the business environment for the United States and Mexico when it comes to doing business cross-border?
If it gets across the finish line and the Canadian Parliament, Mexican Congress, as everything seems to suggest, will be done tomorrow, and then eventually the U.S. Congress, which won't be a walk in the park, but I think we should see ratification at some point. I'm not sure it's going to happen this year because of political electoral calculus. But absolutely, the whole idea of modernizing NAFTA and creating the new USMCA was to continue to provide certainty for investment and for the businesses that have grown on the backs of what is probably the most important success story of North American trade, which is these integrated supply and production chains that have allowed especially the automotive industries and others to compete globally with the likes of China.